Hello, welcome to Southend TV. I'm here at the Esplanade Pub with Janet. Can you tell us a little bit about your background?
Well, I have always had pubs in Southend. I won't disclose how long I've had them, but I had my first pub when I was 21, and I'm still here now 40 odd years later. The Esplanade, can I point out first of all, is not my pub. I actually came here 4 years ago just to look after it for a year, while plans were going through for, unfortunately, for flats because it's coming down. And I'm still here 4 years later looking after it, and now I've actually warmed to the place, and I really wish it wasn't coming down.
Fair enough. It is a shame. It is like a local landmark along the seafront. And what other pubs do you run?
I've got the castle along the seafront as well, but at the other end. They're two entirely different pubs, but I have actually had the castle for 16 years now. At one stage they thought I was collecting castles because I also had the castle in Wakering as well. I don't now, I sold that many years ago, but that was lovely living out there with my children. And then we came to the castle in Southend for 16 years and then ended up looking after this through somebody phoned up and asking me to sort of babysit it for a year. And then, as I said, 4 years later, we're still here. In the meantime, in that 4 years, we also had the Royal Hotel at the top of the hill as well. So we had 3 pubs on the seafront at one stage.
And what would you say your favourite thing about being a landlady is?
Now I'm getting very tired. But I have got to say that it is a way of life. It's not... I've got nothing against these new pubs. They are there for a purpose. But the difference what we offer is the fact it's just like we know we're not numbers on the table. We are people. And everybody's got to grown and love. Myself, my children have all grew up in the pubs. And it's just a way of life for us. We don't switch off. It's a 24/7 job. Now I'm sort of like leaving it on to my daughter Jolene because she's got this next 30 odd years to go, to be honest. Because I'm going to take a step back now and take it easy a little bit, I think, really, once the Esplanade goes in October.
So do you know the date of when it shuts down now?
Our official date at the moment is the 17th of September, but we might have it for a couple of weeks more yet, we don't know.
So can you give us a little info about what it's going to be?
Yeah, we have got a scaled model here for the plans, but in a nutshell, again, it's another pub. Now I can just say that at least 40 pubs in England a week close. And then what do they go to? They normally go to flats, and that's exactly what this is going to. I don't know whether this is right or wrong, and I can see why this pub doesn't work, because its winter bills are so horrendous that the summer doesn't make up for the winter, and I can see why it runs at a loss. But on the other hand, if it had the right money generated into it and the right people running it, it would be a little gold mine. But unfortunately, the plans have been passed, and it's going to be 22 luxury flats with 4 outlets underneath. I'm not sure what they are yet. I think it's going to be like an ice cream parlour, a coffee shop, a cocktail bar, etc. And that's will be coming in within the next 5 years.
So what have you got coming up before it closes?
Totally forgotten, but off the top of my head, I think we've got David Van Day. Yeah, 70s, you know.
Yeah, I'm a celebrity in there as well.
He's a very good entertainer. He's been here before, and he gets the whole pub rocking. He really does, him and his wife. Yeah, he's very good, and he always has photos done with people and stuff. That's on August Bank Holiday. Obviously got the carnival where we have the roof open with barbecues. We have live music up and down. Discos, plenty for the children as well. So that gets very busy down here on the carnival. And then September the 11th, we got JD, who's a very popular singer in Southend. He's very big. He does get the whole pub going. That'll be his last time that he'll be playing at the Esplanade. I think for those people that used to come to the Esplanade years ago, it'd be a good idea just to come in, because, to be honest, it is going to finish. There'll be no more Esplanade. Cry, you know, because we have grown to love it, actually. We've got a big night on here, a rock and roll night, because they used to have bands here years ago, rock and roll bands. That's just before 10th of September. And that normally, that's all the Teddy Boys come down, and we have bands up, down, both ends, because the pub's huge. And all I can say, it will be very, very sad to see it go, to be honest.
So what would you say your favourite memory of being a landlady is over the years?
A few weeks ago downstairs here in the Esplanade, my daughter, me and Jolene was bantering, because we do that all the time, we sort of bounce off people. Although we row and whatever, we do work pretty well. Anyway, somebody came in, had a cup of coffee, and they were from Gogglebox. And they asked us if we would be filmed for Gogglebox. And it's such a shame, because in all honesty, it all went wrong. And had it gone right, how good for that for my pubs and for publicity, it would have been great. And that was mainly because we was all filmed round Jolene's house. First of all, my eldest son made an excuse and said he was ill. I agree he had a cold, but he could have made it. Secondly, my youngest son got a ticket outside the house, so came in effing and blinding and screamed off while he was on camera. And then we was told not to have children there, and Jolene's baby kept running in and out the front room. So it's a shame. It was a right disaster, but it could have been good for the pub trade and for me down here. So that's one of the saddest memories, I should say, that we wasn't picked for Gogglebox.
It's a shame. I always wanted to go on Gogglebox. I always watch telly. I'm like, yeah, I could definitely be on Gogglebox. Definitely talking on.
I know. But the thing is, though, when I look at it now, I don't want to look at it, because I think that could have been us on there and we just blew it. Never mind. I mean, look at this view up here. I mean, look behind me. I mean, what other pub in Essex, anywhere, has got this? It's such a shame. No wonder the flats are going to be selling for millions of pounds, you know, with this view. But yeah, in hindsight, if I'd known this 4 years ago, it went practically for a song. I could have got backing, because I've been in the game for a long, long time. I would have definitely loved this pub and stayed here. But having said that, I still have got the castle down the road and we love it. The only thing is, it is a bit of a struggle now, because the bills and things like that are very, very much higher now than what they was when I came into the trade 40 years ago. At the end of the day, it is big corporations that are taking over all the pubs now. So we are a little bit sad about that. I mean, we've got the carvery going down there. We've got lots of things going on from October when we close this down. But at the same time, we will be sad to see this go, but we have to think about the castle now and look forward to that.
So you mentioned your carveries. I do love a carvery down the castle. It is very popular. Have you got any other special things to talk about down the castle?
Well, we did have some famous people down the castle once. We had Ewan McGregor came down there. It was someone's birthday party. And at the time we was all hiding and running in and out trying to get a glimpse of him. I played pool with Jimmy White about 10 years ago in his heyday, when he was like one of the top snooker players. And then we ended up going out for a late night drink with him to all hours of the thing. When we had the Royals, which is just at the top of the hill there, my daughter met Tom Daly and Mark Foster when he was carrying the torch and all that. So that was, you know, quite an experience as well. So yeah, I mean, pub life has got its downside to it, but it's also got a lot of upsides to it. As long as you enjoy it, you know, somebody come along now and said, I'm going to go into a pub, what would you think? Mm-hmm. You've got to like what you do. If you don't like what you do, then you must get out of it.
So I hear your daughter plays a big part in running the pub?
Yeah, she really does. I mean, she was born actually in one of the pubs that I had. I had the Sutton Arms, which was originally the Fisherman's Inn, and Jolene was born there, and the whole lot of the people downstairs in the pub filed upstairs to see her in her crib. That was quite funny. But yeah, now 30 odd years later, she does take a big part in the pubs. And what we thought that we would like to do, each day we're going to be doing a video of what we do actually do in our daily life, and we're going to start posting it. My son's going to do it for me. And then we're just going to see whether people are that interested to see what goes on nowadays in pubs and the running of them. With the castle, I'd like to mention as well that we was the Community Pub of the Year, and I won £5,000, which I donated to Greenways School and the Tram Setter, which is going up on the seafront, which is Bob Craven's little nest egg down there to get going for people like with disabilities getting onto the beach, because we've got the whole of this beach from Westcliff down to Thorpe Bay, and there's nowhere for disabled people to get on it, so we've been supporting that as well. We do loads of charity work, loads. We do lots of shows at the castle. We've just recently done a show down there. We raised between £4,000 and £5,000, And the most highlight of that was the fact that myself, my daughter and my granddaughter Sydney, who's sitting here now, we done Cher's song, the Shoot Shoot song. And when we came out all dressed as Cher did in the film,
Brilliant.
the whole pub went up. It was just magnificent. That was absolutely, except for when I saw the film back, I looked as fat as anything on it and I wasn't too pleased with it. But yeah, that was one of the highlights, I would say, in the last year, was doing that. And the fact that the castle was absolutely mobbed, and it's mainly with local people, so it's definitely a community pub. So we're going to take the carvery from the Esplanade down to the castle, so all them people that have enjoyed their times here and their Sunday lunches, and don't forget to come down there and give us a look.
Thank you so much for your time, Janet. Make sure you head down to the castle when it's all moved down there, but for now just head to the Esplanade.
So as Peggy would always say now, I've got things to do, so get out of my pub.